as we continue my 2019 prediction series. Next up, we feature Raekwon Davis, who in my opinion will finally have his monster year at Alabama in 2019. Alabama returns what could be the most dominating defensive player in college football during the 2019 season in 6'7", 315-pound Raekwon Davis. It's really surprising that Davis is even back for his senior year, considering most college football experts expected him to have a monster season during his junior year, then declare for the NFL draft. Last year was an underachieving season for Davis in my opinion, as he recorded just 24 solo tackles, which was 10th on the team, recording just 1.5 quarterback sacks. Before the Orange Bowl this past season, we caught up with former defensive line coach Craig Kolgowski to get his thoughts on Raekwon Davis.
Davis has been a guy that I think was going into the preseason. Everybody kind of knew about him. He drew a lot of, he draws a lot of blockers, and he does a great job being physical and setting edges and knocking people back, and has just really had a good year. And his numbers aren't quite as much as they were last year, but I would say that his play has been very well. His play has been better than last year.
Since Davis has arrived in Tuscaloosa, he has played in 31 games, recording 129 tackles and 11 sacks. In 2017, during his sophomore season, he recorded 8.5 sacks with 10 tackles for loss. Davis even recorded an interception as a sophomore during the national championship game against Georgia, which he displayed plenty of athleticism, returning the pick 19 yards. When we look at the defensive gradeouts provided by Pro Football Focus over the last two seasons, we see that in 2018, Davis had a pass rushing grade of 68.5. His grade against the run was an impressive 90.4. His tackle grade was a 69.5. He put pressure on the quarterback 29 times, and overall, his defensive grade was 81.9, which was 6th on the team. If we compare these numbers to a sophomore season, his pass rushing grade was 62.7, his grade against the run was 61.3, his tackle grade was 75.9, and he had 19 quarterback pressures. So the numbers do back up what Coach Kolgowski said about Davis. He actually did play better year over year from his junior to sophomore season. With that said, it felt like at times he was not as an imposing player that he could have been, and that contributed to Davis returning for his senior season instead of heading to the NFL draft. The reason I feel Davis will have such a monster year in 2019 is because of the instant impact new defensive line coach Brian Baker will have in coaching up Davis. Baker is a 19-year NFL coaching veteran that most recently comes from Mississippi State, where he turned the Bulldogs defense into a defensive masterpiece. In 2017, the Bulldogs had multiple defensive linemen named to the first-team All-SEC team for the first time in school history. In 2018, the Bulldogs won the SEC Defensive Lineman Award 5 out of 13 times. Mississippi State, get this, also finished the 2018 season with the #1 defense in college football. Baker's past coaching experience should help transform Davis into a first-round NFL draft pick by season's end. In the past, Baker has coached DeMarcus Ware, Julius Peppers, Leonard Little, and many other NFL players that eventually earned their way to the Pro Bowl. Most recently, Baker transformed Montez Sweat into a pass-rushing nightmare, having recorded 12 sacks during the 2018 season and is now projected as an NFL first-round draft pick. If Baker can have an instant impact on Alabama with a defensive line and coaching up Davis, there's no reason to doubt that Baker's impact on Davis helps Davis become one of the most dominating players in college football and also turns Davis into a first-round NFL draft pick during the 2020 NFL Draft. For more coverage on Alabama football, whether it's recruiting or team coverage, head on over to BamaInsider.com.